Prime Minister Stewart speaks glowingly about Bridgetown's relationship with Havana. Increasing numbers of Barbadians are applying for teaching positions. And in sports, the BFA boss says Barbados football is paying the price for past errors.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. Prime Minister Frundell Stewart says Barbados is enjoying a treasured relationship with Cuba since establishing diplomatic relations with Havana in 1972. Mr. Stewart was speaking after he and Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Maxine McLean extended condolences to Cuba following the death of Defense Minister General Julio Casas Reguero. The two signed a condolence book in memory of General Casas this morning at the Cuban embassy. 75-year-old Casas died last Saturday of heart failure.
I value this relationship with Cuba, and I remain faithful to the act of courage that was demonstrated by my political ancestor, the late Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow, who spearheaded this move for the Big Four in CARICOM, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana and Jamaica, to establish diplomatic relations with Cuba. So I really want to take this opportunity again to express to the ambassador the condolences of the people of Barbados on the passing of this great historical figure in Cuba, and to assure her of our continuing prayers.
Prime Minister Stewart says General Casas helped to enrich Cuban thought and political practice as a pivotal figure in the revolution that helped to topple Fulgencio Batista in early 1959. He says the terrorist act of the bombing of a Cubana plane just off Barbados in 1976 has brought the two states even closer together.
Our most recent act in that regard was to open an embassy in Cuba, and we have been sending students. Cuba has been receiving Barbadian students in a wide variety of areas for training in Cuba. So I could not let this opportunity pass to condole with the people of Cuba on the passing of this very important personage, a revolutionary figure who contributed massively to the post-revolutionary development of Cuba.
Well, more people are applying to work in the teaching profession, but only half of them will make it. Minister of Education Ronald Jones says in the last 9 years, the ministry has received between 400 and 500 applications annually. He is pleased that in spite of the challenges teachers are facing, several people are still interested in becoming educators.
It means that so many will be disappointed because you can only take in any given year about 40 or 50 teachers, persons would have retired, persons would have gone off to training, would have gone off to studying, and then we try to replace those persons by new temporary teachers. So I know we had somewhere in the region of 80 some odd interviews, and only 50% of those will be placed in the school system. But it shows that teaching is still an extremely attractive profession.
Mr. Jones says not only is there an increase in applications, but candidates are also coming highly qualified.
Persons who are coming to education, who are coming to teach, are coming with degrees, associate degrees, CAPE qualifications, CXC qualifications. So we really don't want for young, bright, intelligent Barbadians coming to the teaching service, and that's augurs well for the future of education of Barbados.
Well, the Education Minister is not supporting calls for school children to be allowed to wear other clothing than uniforms in schools. In fact, Mr. Jones says if necessary, government could insist that students at tertiary institutions like the Barbados Community College, which government supports, wear uniforms as well. Mr. Jones made the comments at a ceremony to recognize students who were awarded Barbados scholarships, exhibitions and awards of excellence at the BCC. According to him, there are individuals here that would like to see the island school children wear what they like to school, but he stresses even schools in the United States are now insisting that their students wear uniforms as well.
The BCC is a tertiary level institution. As a result of the work it does, an associate degree granting institution, and therefore you give it free rein to do those things which are necessary. But that does not say that if given free rein, and the free rein becomes almost like a license for the presence of indiscipline, that an institution supported by the state, by the citizens of the country, might not find itself uniformly attired as well. That does not say that. It is not necessarily the way you dress, I understand that, but what you deliver.
The minister also revealed that government has awarded over 288 scholarships of various types to Barbadians between 2008 and 2011. 13 BCC students received scholarships, exhibitions and awards of excellence this year. In congratulating the students, BCC Board Chairman Stephen Brooms also noted that they were examining the need for a new system of awards for academic performance at that institution.
The BCC has several courses including pharmacy, medical laboratory technology, environmental health, and general nursing, all within the health sciences division that do not qualify because they are 3-year programs. There are other academic courses that by nature of how they are structured would not merit an award as it is structured today. The Board of Management would wish to revisit that submission and intends to form a committee made up of BCC and external experts to formulate a new proposal for academic awards for the Barbados Community College for submission to the ministry. It is hoped that this new submission will begin a serious discussion amongst all stakeholders on this matter.
A solution has been brokered in the dispute between about 20 workers of the Sanitation Service Authority, including soil technicians at Westbury Cemetery. Our Peter Thorne has the story.
CBC understands that the board of the Sanitation Service Authority has met with the man at the center of the dispute, Superintendent of Cemeteries Ricky Cummins, and shop stewards of the SSA. CBC also understands that following those talks, a compromise was arrived at. It means that effective September 12th, which is next Monday, a woman will now be handling all the paperwork and correspondence with the workers at Westbury Cemetery, acting as a buffer between the workers and Mr. Cummins, who stays in his post. Mr. Cummins, who has over 30 years' experience at the SSA, is reportedly against the subcontracting of the digging of graves at Westbury Cemetery and has vowed to stamp out the practice. This stance led to the SSA workers at Westbury taking industrial action, backed by scores of other workers. When contacted, Acting General Manager of the SSA, Janice Jones, said she had no comment to make on the matter, whilst Deputy General Secretary of the NUPW, Rosin Smith, also declined comment. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
The battle to rid this country's beaches of the sargassum seaweed continued today. The National Conservation Commission continued its efforts to remove it from several east and south coast beaches. The commission says by midday, workers had cleared the marine vegetation from Rockley, Worthing, Welches and Silver Sands in Christchurch. The NCC teams had also cleaned up the area near Barclays Park and at Bathsheba over in St. Joseph. A team from the Barbados Defence Force is expected to clean up Long Beach in Christchurch on Friday, but even as the cleanup continued, there seemed to be no let-up. The sargassum seaweed, like a lurking thief, seemed to be just waiting to wash in. There's an appeal for more private sector agencies to assist the government in its quest to produce better facilities for the island's needy children. Minister of Family and Youth Affairs Stephen Lashley made the call as he delivered the feature address during a groundbreaking ceremony for the redevelopment of the Nightingale Complex at Blackrock in St. Michael. Ron Brathwaite reports.
Family Minister Stephen Lashley is one step closer to fulfilling his vision. One of providing better care and protection for the island's children. Through a joint public-private sector project with the National Children's Trust, he is looking to transform the Nightingale Complex into a village, specifically for children. In breaking ground yesterday, Minister Lashley said too many children have been neglected by relatives, many of whom are working class poor and can't do any better.
This facility will provide the needed stimulation for those children with limited mobility, developmental delays, sensory and communication deficits. Significant attention will be paid to the quality of the environment and the inputs that these children need.
Minister Lashley said the global economic situation has produced a challenge for government to complete much of its infrastructural agenda. He said private sector participation is going to be very critical in this.
Successive governments, though willing and committed, at times would not be able to provide all of the financial and other resources needed to ensure the development of our facilities. And therefore we welcome benefactors, and indeed we always say to our benefactors that their contributions are indeed readily accepted.
The family minister believes this project will transform the level of child care in Barbados.
This village, on its completion, will see special facilities for children that will assist them in their total development and that will embody the philosophy concepts held for residential care, which are, and I quote, a home away from home, and facilities that allow for healing and the building of a positive experience of children.
When completed, the new Nightingale complex at Block Rock will be a one-of-a-kind facility housing 24 children ages 12 years and under. Ron Brathwaite, CBC News.
Community independence celebrations have started to intensify as the November 30th date approaches. From this weekend, the parish talent zonal shows begin at the Parkinson Secondary School. The talent show is being sponsored by Barbados Shipping and Trading Limited, DaCosta Mannings and Supercenter. And there is an appeal for more members of the corporate community to support community independence celebrations. Minister of Family, Culture, Sports and Youth, Stephen Lashley, thanked the companies for its $155,000 effort.
For us, though, this donation comes at a very irrelevant time because it helps us to finance a lot of the technical work and, of course, to assist with the trophies which are used and are a very critical part of the program. So I really want, again, to compliment and to say to BS&T that we certainly welcome and appreciate its continued loyalty and support to the program.
Well, a new school year has come bearing gifts for the students of Ellerton Primary. This is the result of several donations from corporate Barbados. These donations include a new play park, a wheelchair ramp and kitchen appliances, all complements Digicel courts and Chafette. Education Officer for St. George, Debbie Bovell, commended the corporate partners for their commitment to the students.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education, I thank you for your generous donations, which have provided recreational facilities and access to those who are differently able. Also, the ministry thanks you for the provision of electrical appliances in the special education unit to assist students with self-help skills. The new play park will serve the students here at Ellerton Primary School by promoting their physical, social, mental, and spiritual development. It will help to build their strength, endurance, coordination, character, and social skills.
And the principal of the school, Veronica Best, says everything on the school's wish list has been granted. She is urging other private sector organizations to follow this example and make a difference in the Barbadian community.
I wish also to implore other private sector organizations to come on board and partner with us to develop similar projects which will redound to the benefit of the students and the nation as a whole. Let me therefore, on behalf of the staff and students, extend a hearty welcome to all and say that we look forward to working with all persons here today to bring similar projects to fruition.